Welcome back. Every day, cattlemen and women care for their land and their animals because they're committed to leaving what they have in better shape for the next generation. We're highlighting the 2016 regional winners of the Environmental Stewardship Award. Let's head to Montana for a closer look at the winning operation in Region 5.
In eastern Montana, Cherry Creek Ranch is a commercial cow-calf operation stretching across nearly 25,000 acres of both owned and public lands. Lon and Vicki Rukoff's family has deep roots in this area. Although this part of Montana used to be packed with homesteaders, the Rukoffs are one of the few original families still around.
There's about 5 original families left here out of probably 250 homesteaders that began in that period from about 1900 to about 1916.
For 3 generations, we wake up every morning with the intention to get out of bed and have great intentions to improving the land and the landscape for our cattle, and always putting their needs ahead of our own.
Cherry Creek Ranch only gets about 12.5 inches of precipitation a year, so capturing any moisture they do get is a priority. One way Lon does that is with a rotational grazing system to help improve water infiltration into the soil.
We felt that by having cattle on land for less time and giving it longer rest periods, we accomplished an increase in both species diversity and grass production, and especially root depth on the plants that existed. And I think it increases your water holding capacity in your soil. And also having significant litter and good root mass in the ground makes the plants more efficiently utilize the moisture that you've got.
During our 33 years of marriage, we kind of suffered along through about 15 years of drought off and on. And so we don't take for granted, really taking care of the land so it takes care of us and for future generations.
Water placement is another key to the success of the Cherry Creek grazing system. The Rukoffs have installed solar-powered wells in strategic locations to provide the cattle with clean, fresh, consistent water. These tanks also help to pull animals away from lower riparian areas.
I think that putting this water in less sensitive areas is one of the single best factors in having a lot of species biodiversity in our plant community, because we're now focusing a lot of the time those animals spent in very sensitive areas, we're shifting that to very unsensitive areas. We found that by utilizing solar well technology, we were able to push water to places that we couldn't get it before.
Always eager to share their passion for the land with others, Lon and Vicki have long encouraged public access to their land for hunting. Their ranch lands are part of a Montana block management program that gives hunters nearly unlimited open access.
We want to make sure we keep that resource available for other people that live in town that don't get a chance to go out and enjoy the outdoors and nature.
We've seen a pretty good increase in wildlife numbers as a whole in this area, and a lot of that has to do with the management practices Lon and Vicki have implemented on the ranch.
For Lon, planting trees is another passion, and over the past 20 years, the Rukoffs have transformed their landscape by planting trees every year, providing livestock and wildlife improved opportunities for shade and shelter.
Every year Lon would order maybe 50 to 300 trees, and we never knew for sure when they were coming, but it was usually during cool, rainy weather, and we'd hear, oh, here's the UPS truck with the trees, and we'd be out planting 50 to 300 trees that day, because we just have a few days to get them in the ground. Hand planting with shovels in the mud from the time our kids were this high.
We don't necessarily plant trees to revegetate the whole landscape. We plant those trees, shrubs, to make sure that the seed source is always available in places. And hopefully, if the seed source is present, we can find methods of our rotational grazing that will allow all those plants to flourish.
It's hard to come out here and not leave with that feeling of This land is much more important to them than just a way to make money. It's a way of life for them.
Over the years, the men in the Rukoff family have been avid recorders of history. Grandfather Art wrote a book about the hardships of the homesteading era, while Lon's dad, Walter, kept diaries of the daily ranch work. It's a practice Lon continues today.
I don't keep quite the personal diary that my father did, but I usually write in it every day. I record cattle movements. I keep pretty close track of precipitation and maybe large weather events, hailstorms, blizzards.
Lon and Vicki have a son and daughter who both work jobs off the ranch, but they hope one of them will return home to manage the operation. One thing is certain, proper care of the land and the cattle will always be a way of life on Cherry Creek Ranch.
I guess it's like learning a behavior over 40 or 50 years. It becomes second nature, and it would feel very uncomfortable not to do that.
There's never an end to improving the land, and so we always have ideas for new water sources, for different ways we can manage the grasslands better and be able to survive difficult times. We enjoy doing it, and we just couldn't imagine doing it any other way.
Now, if you'd like to find out more about the Environmental Stewardship Award winners, see photos and videos, or even learn how to nominate someone for the award, just visit the website environmentalstewardship.org.